Can you tell us your biggest success that you've had in your career? What was something where you said, wow, this is how I imagined it, or this is a step closer to how I imagined it?
Oh, that's a good question too, because there are like bullet points for sure. Like, I want to say it was the Record Keeper film. Like, that felt like a big success, even though it did not, was not released and did not turn out the way I thought it would. What it did though was it changed my perspective on things, and I learned a lot, and I met a lot of amazing artists that have helped me. Success doesn't necessarily mean moving up in your pay scale or, you know, getting a contract or whatever. It could mean other things. Like that film, you know, I got to experiment on a level I haven't been to before. So I would call that a huge success. But the Suppression that I just did also was a bigger success, because that one was a film I made in LA with LA producers for the first time. So that, even though it was a smaller budget than the Record Keeper, to me that still felt like a bigger accomplishment. And oddly enough, this fan film that I'm about to direct, it's for Star Wars fan film, feels like even the biggest opportunity, because the things that we're getting to do with this, I mean, we're getting like, one of the actors that we're getting for it is the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi in all the cartoons. Oh, wow. And he's in our fan film. Like, we're getting people who've worked on Star Wars films to work on this. It's turning out to be one of the biggest fan films ever made. And it feels like one of the biggest things I've ever done. It's really exciting. And we're playing with Star Wars. How cool is that? No one's getting paid. You know, I mean, there's a little bit of a budget, but, you know, this is not a buy an island and retire kind of project. But, you know, big opportunities and big success looks a little different a lot of the times. Like, you know, the Star Wars thing. It's not a moneymaker. It's an opportunity. The same with Suppression. That was not a moneymaker either. The budget was not huge, but it was a great working relationship with a production company that I admire, who makes lots and lots of films. These guys I'm gonna work with them for the rest of my life. I am, no doubt. Like, good people. Like, Record Keeper was also a big success, never released, but it changed the whole trajectory of my life. So I guess it would be those three big bullet points. Yeah. And they all look different. They're all like all over the scale, if that makes sense.
It does. Would you say that to someone that's either entering film school or whether they're learning on their own, just that you will have these like little pins on a map,
yes,
kind of thing? And
yeah,
some of them will leave you with a feeling that maybe it's not so great, but it'll teach you a lot. Yes. Others will give you just an amazing high. Maybe it won't pay anything. Mm-hmm. But there's value in that too.
That is that is so realistic. That is exactly how it happens. You know, you might work on a TV show and get paid 6 figures for 2 weeks of work, but it might suck. You know, you could call that a success on your IMDb page, and that would be cool, but the experience was hard, and you would get more enjoyment out of this little music video that you made that, you know, just went a little ways, but it was so much fun to do it, and the artists were so great, and it looks better on your reel than the TV show. Like, that you know, it looks different. And this is what I mean, where it's like, we've all been sold on this idea of success. Well, it just constantly changes. You don't know what you need to be open to that, of open your eyes and look at where you are realistically on what opportunity you're being presented with. Like, actually, speaking of music videos, I did a music video many, many years ago that the budget was incredibly small, but I would consider that was a big success for me back at the time. We had no money. We made this Western, like a shootout, and it was so much fun to do. I got to play with cowboys and things, and we ended up winning the Nashville Film Festival for Best Music Video. We beat out big national acts for that prize. That was a big deal at that time, because it's Nashville, it's Music City. So like, winning Best Music Video was a big deal. And we had like no money. So it was like, that was a huge success. You know, I didn't make any money on it, but who cares? I'm so proud of that. Still to this day, it's one of my proudest accomplishments. So yeah, that's the way it is. That's what it looks like.
Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
So without, you know, maybe focusing on story or violence or whatever, but just the 3 different sort of stages or levels and ideas of people's career, where one seems kind of content, even though he's not really doing that much.
I know.
One is actually, seems like he's actually doing all right, but he feels like he's falling from grace, and he's very bitter about it. And then the other one, she doesn't know it, but things will take a dark turn. But it's just an interesting look at sort of three careers.
And that's real. That's the way it always is, you know. Yeah, you're like looking at the main character who's doing movies and stuff, and he's angry.
He's totally pissed
It's like,
off.
man.
Margaritas has a beautiful pool, and he's
right,
yelling at someone.
He's like angry. It's like, wait a minute, why are you angry? You know what you got? That energy can destroy your opportunities. I really feel that way. Like you are bitter and angry about something like that, and of course, you know, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a certain guy, but like all of us can have that on any kind of level. Like, I don't care what gig you've got, someone else probably wants it. You beat someone else out for that job and they wish that they had it. And if you're bitter about it, well then, why are you even in this business? Like, maybe you should look at another line of work if you're gonna be angry about what you fought for and won. So it's so important to check yourself on these things. And that can affect what you're getting in the future, your energy that you're putting out there.
Yeah, and I think that what was interesting is just sort of like Leo was afraid of his fall from grace because he was getting older. And so that's where it came from. And he kept measuring himself. And you know, that's a very real thing, I get it. But and just even his statements to the child actor, like, oh yeah, you got another good 15 years and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right, well, and that's a realistic problem that also is something that people don't talk about is you do something really big, but then after that, you know, the depression that can come from falling off of a big project, or maybe the fear of, oh, I'll never do anything like this again. That happens. It does happen. You lose a big client, and you know, now you got to scrounge around for low budget work again. Like that's so real. That happens so often, and it's, what do you do in those scenarios? If I figure that out, I'll let you know. Because that may be time for reinvention or reawakening or something.